This one. What is called? 100 players simulate civilization versus parasites in Minecraft. Okay. Let's watch this. Yeah, refresh the video. Why is it not playing?
Of endurance.
Okay. Yeah, let me lower the volume a bit. Right.
100 players must survive for 3 days against some of the hardest enemies known to Minecraft, parasites. Trapped on an alien world, a battalion of players are holed up in the last remaining human stronghold awaiting evacuation, scheduled to arrive in 3 days' time.
That's so cool,
Meanwhile,
the ship.
after the loss of a ship en route to assist in the evacuation, an escape pod full of survivors crash land onto the alien planet not far from the fortress. The survivors of the lost ship must not only contend with parasites, but also potential hostilities with the soldiers as tensions are on high during the brutal struggle between two civilizations.
Wait, they have mods
humans
on?
want nothing more than to survive, while the parasites seek only to add more biomass to their collection. In the end, only one faction will achieve victory in the civilization simulation, but the true cost remains to be seen.
So basically, for this in SCP. Wait, you're right, Shaf, you're right. No, I really like these videos because, like they have a lore. They have like a backstory to it. It's pretty interesting, huh? It's quite interesting. It's like Star Wars.
Each day, waves of parasites will assault the fortress, with the difficulty of the parasites increasing over time. The players have a certain number of lives they can lose each day before hardcore is enabled. The total number of lives over the 3 days is equivalent to that of a battalion. Players also have a shop where they can buy additional equipment using points earned from mob kills. If you want to check out this mod pack for yourself, you can find it over on CurseForge using the link in the description.
This is awesome.
Shout out to Ish and Magic.
It's an awesome idea.
If you want to see the storyline continued in future videos, don't forget to drop a like and subscribe down below. You can also find streams over at twitch.tv/SbeevYT.
Wait, what? With epic battles comes great entity lag. Sun Tzu, yeah. Totally right, guys. He definitely said that, guys. He definitely said that. Yo, the amount of editing they put into these videos, right? Oh my goodness.
Fortunately for the survivors, no one was lost during the crash landing onto the planet that they were supposed to be rescuing other people from, but now they find themselves in need of rescuing. But they knew they could only be rescued if they were alive at the time of the rescue arriving, so they set about gathering as much gear as quickly as they could.
Hold on, guys. Let me turn on subtitles. Hold on.
The escape pod in preparation for the coming night. Their primary objective was to attempt to reach the fortress, where the majority of the other players or soldiers are located, as it offers a good deal of safety and protection compared to the wilderness at nighttime, not far from the parasite biomes. Meanwhile, at the fortress...
Oh my god. There we go. I have bullets.
Wait, what?
I am... Yeah. Right.
Oh
Wait,
shoot.
wait, what's going on?
No!
Wait, it's so chaotic. What the frick? It's chaos.
Guys, save your ammo. Save your ammo, don't waste it.
Wait, what's everyone attacking each other? What?
I'm just taking anything.
Bro, I'm off. The frick?
I can't hear anything over there.
After the initial mad dash to the armory, in which it was looted in about 0.5 seconds of all of its gear, the players spread out and began doing different tasks. Some of them who had materials started reinforcing the defenses, began building a secondary wall outside of the main wall.
They have like sentry guns, like AK-47s, what the frick?
Biome. They even stuck some machine gun turrets there in an effort
to
defend against the eventual parasites, who were, in fact, just becoming aware of the presence of a large group of soldiers at the fortress. They were slowly beginning to appear out of the surrounding infected biomes in ones and twos, but never in any great force. And the ones that did decide to show themselves were quickly dispatched by multiple armed players or turrets within the vicinity. While the majority of the soldiers were still stationed at the fortress, there were certainly some of them who left and began seeking refuge in the surrounding mountain ranges.
A
couple of them even stumbled upon an abandoned plane up in the mountains, while a few others began a small group that would later be known as Mountain Gang. One of the soldiers by the name of DeKirby used the abandoned plane to travel back to the fortress and attempted to land it in the hangar.
Yo, the
but
lag, man, the
plane had
lag.
some other ideas and proceeded to freak out and just teleport all over the map instead, which was fine.
Bro, the lag, bro.
It got DeKirby where he needed to go, which was inside the hangar to mine steel blocks from the walls. Meanwhile, the players stationed at the various walls in front of the fortress were about to be tested as the Parasites launched their first full frontal assault, consisting of a horde of assimilated
my god, that's a lot.
and other denizens.
You know what it looks like? It looks like World War Z, the
initial
zombie
wave of
game.
Parasites proved to be no match for the players and their machine guns and flamethrowers.
For
With the
real.
support of the heavy turrets on the wall in the back. But the Parasites had learned something from the encounter. They had learned
the
that
lag,
they
bro,
would
the
need
lag's so
even
bad.
stronger forms if they
Ridiculous.
wanted to take out the soldiers. Around that time, some of the survivors began arriving at the fortress right after the soldiers had just defeated the first wave. They didn't stick near other players very long though due to uncertain hostilities, and they decided instead to slip up the mountain and to one of the upper machine gun turrets in a secluded spot far from the other players, but also still within the confines of the fortress. A second wave of parasites spawning shortly after also proved to
Wait, there's
be
a story for 4
plenty
days,
of
right?
distraction for any one of the soldiers who
think.
might have been curious enough to go investigate where the survivors were. While most of the soldiers were focused on defending their fortress from hordes of parasites, other players had different priorities, namely stealing as much food as absolutely possible from the cafeteria. Oh man, I really would not have wanted to have been this soldier right about now, if only they had known
Oh my
that
god.
a mere couple dozen blocks above them were
Oh.
several huge
Wait,
parasite
it can
forms
dig.
slowly digging through the mountain, intent on
It can
adding
dig.
another member to the hive. Speaking
Oh,
of digging
shit.
parasites, another large parasite form
can dig
had
to the
dug
base.
an entire tunnel from a cave system far below the fortress just to make it out of the ground and
no.
die immediately to one of the autocannon turrets on the wall. However, it opened up a passageway that other parasites and monsters could follow if they wanted an easy route inside the
Oh,
fortress.
it's a sneak attack. It's
Most
ambush.
of the soldiers were a little bit too occupied with the new wave of parasites to pay the tunnel that had been opened up very much mind, as a lot of parasites had just arrived and were attempting to dig through their first line of defenses.
Wait, so the parasites can dig? Oh, it got through. They got through. Oh no.
Broke the massive
Oh,
machine
no.
gun and it dropped ammo and all this stuff.
Oh
Wait,
no!
let's-
We
They
should
come from
never have broken
behind.
that. We should never have broken that. Uh-oh.
Look behind, look behind.
It's gonna
It's
be
engineering
unfair.
blocks. I love engineering
Yeah, at the back.
blocks.
I'm gonna be setting up camp at the
You guys
But I
are
can't imagine the
bad.
amount of shock
Oh
they
my
will get.
God.
They'll be so shocked to see come from the back.
Other than bricks.
The amount of shock.
I have a
Yes.
airborne.
I don't have sound in my I just realized.
This video shows the difference between players from this and each video.
Who do I follow?
Some of the first
Yeah,
flying
it's so chaotic
parasite
right now.
forms were seen in large
They have no
numbers in
order.
the new wave that
No
spawned
rules.
A few minutes after the survivors broke the machine gun turret on top of the fortress.
Oh my
And in
god.
addition to
They are
those
so
flying
dead.
forms, a large number of
They are
assimilated
dead.
Endermen spawned, all of which with the capability of breaking blocks. Speaking of breaking blocks, or maybe lack thereof, the parasites that had been digging toward that one poor player off in the mountains gave up their attempt, but they didn't need to actually kill the player themselves because the player dug into a cave that had some zombies that immediately eated the player instead, so it didn't work out very well. By that point, some of the
What
soldiers
the
had
fuck?
enough points that they could afford air support and began buying planes, which was just in time for additional waves of parasites to emerge from the infected biome. This time, however, the soldiers had air support and they were ready with multiple
support?
flamethrowers ready to go and obliterate the parasites in short order. All of this wasn't even quite enough, though,
But
to
I-
stop some of the parasite forms
Damn,
from dealing some damage
I
to the
can't
wall
imagine
before they were
flying a
toasted
plane in
into
this lag.
oblivion. To make matters worse, a huge
You gotta
parasite
suck.
form emerged from the depths of the parasite biome, but was luckily taken down
Wait,
by
they have a kill count
concentrated
as
fire
well.
from almost every single soldier on the wall.
Damn, that's tight.
Back in the cafeteria, the survivor who'd been taking all the food previously
Zero mob
decided
kill
that
count.
that alone wasn't enough, and that they needed not just the food,
What the
but
freak?
the entire kitchen as well.
He stole
The soldiers were
everything.
pretty chill about their kitchen getting stolen by one of the survivors. You know, the survivor and
Bro,
soldiers
he has-
just kind of hang out
he has zero
in
mob
the
kills.
fortress. They gave each other some steel, bought some stuff in the shop, and generally
What a
had
rat.
a good time tearing down everything inside the fortress
What
for
a roach.
materials. While the kitchen was getting stolen, the
He's
rest
not even
of the
helping.
survivors were on their way
just
to
hiding in the
mountain
kitchen.
ranges far from the fortress and
What
the
a dick.
soldiers, where they hoped to establish a settlement free of both parasites and other players alike, as both would prove to be equally dangerous to them in the coming days.
Why are they not hiding the mountain then?
Behind the mountains in the distance the next morning, one could almost forget
Isn't it safer
that
there?
they were fighting a losing war against hordes of parasites. You could almost forget if it weren't for that one dude with a flamethrower down there. Since they didn't have to defend a fortress all the time, the members of Mountain Gang were busily expanding their settlement.
Oh yeah, Mountain Gang,
inside
the
mountain,
guys who
and they
hide in the
even
mountain.
dug an entire pit all the way down to bedrock
that's
level, and
cool.
were in the process of filling in a ladder. The same beautiful morning experienced by the survivors up in the mountains was also arriving at the fortress, but it was marred by the hordes of abominations streaming out of the parasite biome, intent on eliminating every single player within sight.
Oh my god. The lag looks atrocious. Hey, what's going on?
In contrast to the epic battle taking place between player and parasite, there was an epically slow PvP battle between a survivor and a soldier happening in a little pit in one of the mountains. It went on for a
PvP.
really long time. This footage is sped up a lot,
No,
but eventually
you know what it looks like? It looks like a Dragon Ball fight. Or like a Naruto fight. For real. They're like just zooming past each other.
And a
You can't even see the speed.
The
They're
outer
so
fortress
fast.
wall constructed
right?
by players was becoming more advanced by the minute. There was now a lower level with gaps for players to shoot out of and spaces for machine gun turrets. But there was a new threat arriving in the form of pods falling from the sky. These pods would land on the ground, presumably die, but still would release a massive explosion a few seconds later, damaging anyone nearby.
Wait, what's that?
Luckily,
What's
all you
dropping
have to
down?
do to avoid them is just not stand
It looks
near
like a
them, which
squid.
for most players was a fairly easy thing, but at least one of them, as we can see here, was eliminated by a pod. Shortly after the pods fell from the sky, the final wave of parasites for day
Wait,
one
they
arrived
respawn, right?
and proceeded to breach through the wall.
I think they
almost
respawn.
immediately,
I
but were
think.
quickly stopped on the other side by the heavy turrets guarding the fortress.
It's not hardcore for this experiment. I don't think so. Wait,
Up in the mountains, the survivors had begun building a shelter to live in not far from the extraction point, and one of the lone soldiers had discovered that
Wait,
you could
Herobrine?
dual-wield pistols and shoot them at the same time, which is something
Cool
I didn't
skin.
even know, but now I do, thanks to him.
wait, that's just day one? Damn. Think morale. Wait, what? Wait, I missed that. Hold on. Hardcore enabled at 50. Total casualties 177. No deaths. Interesting. Huh. Oh. Oh, I see. There's a morale level. Right? There's a level of morale. So if it goes below 50, it enables hardcore. And if it goes below 0, it enables PvP. Oh, that makes sense now. Oh, so they do respawn right now. Right now they respawn. But after it goes down, they don't respawn. I see. So there's 0 deaths on day 1. Wait, let me pause. Extraction point is here. So this is where they started, right? So they went to here. Soldiers here. Survivors here. I see. Okay.
Day 2 of recording arrived, and the Mountain Gang proceeded to build a massive bridge leading to the extraction point from their mountains, so as to make an easy highway to prevent players from having to traverse the dangerous valley below them. Already, even on day 2, a full day before the extraction was supposed to arrive, players were already congregating in the general vicinity. They were flying planes around, making a small airport even, and they were just hoping to avoid parasites, which they could for a while. The large group of survivors were also upgrading their base as well with more stuff. They built a big staircase going down to bedrock, kind of similar to how Mountain Gang made a giant pit with ladders, only they had a staircase. And the brave
Mountain
soldiers
Gang.
defending the fortress waited with
Gang
great
gang.
trepidation for what the parasites would throw at them on day 2. They knew that it could only be worse, as the parasites had to have learned a lot from the defeats of the first day. In fact, the Parasites wasted no time in sending a massive parasite form out of the biome, not even part of a wave. It just came out of the depths of the forest and proceeded to rack up 2 kills almost immediately before taking the entire combined firepower of everyone at the fortress to kill it.
Wait, is that a boss? It looks like a boss.
PvP is enabled, I think. Yeah, because 50.
Oh no, PvP is enabled. Oh no. Oh GG. So they might accidentally kill each other because of that. But it's enabled PvP. Oh.
But that giant parasite was just a shadow of what was about to come, as right on the heels of its death, the new
Oh,
wave
shit.
spawned, bringing with it even stronger forms than what we're seeing yesterday.
Wait, what's that? Wait, that's a lot. Oh my god. Oh, my boy's dead. He's so dead. Run, bro, run. Get out of there. You're so dead. Get out, guys, get out. Wait, everyone's dead. Everyone is dead. Look at that. They're all dead. RIP.
It took mere
07.
moments for the outer wall to be destroyed by numerous parasites, but as they breached through the wall, they came within range of the defenses of the fortress itself, which began opening fire and laying waste to many of them.
It's actual zombie defense, huh? This experiment. It's a zombie defense. It's like a tower defense game. Right? It kind of is. Cool. It's a cool concept, by the way. Cool concept. Not gonna lie. Another one died. Oh no. Bro, their defenses get melted, man. Look at that. They just went through the walls like so easy. Never a challenge to the parasites. They dug through all the
Soldiers narrowly
the
defeated the wave
barriers.
of parasites, but not without losing both heavy flamethrower turrets at the front of the fortress and also sustaining heavy casualties.
The tunnel gonna start getting. We should probably retreat to the tunnel.
Yes, only day 2. They have like 2 more days, right?
After the stragglers
Yeah,
of the
D3 and
wave
D4.
were eliminated, the soldiers quickly began repairing what they
They
could
have 2 more
to force
days.
these defenses. Unfortunately,
I can't
resources
imagine
on, hand are
on
not
day 3 and day
sufficient to
4.
fix the complicated machinery of the turrets themselves.
I can't
They
imagine.
can repair the wall to some extent. Of course, they also have to avoid being picked off by miscellaneous parasites emerging from the parasite biome, like this one did here.
What, seriously though, the lag is so
The
bad.
soldiers did
really.
manage to successfully repair the outer wall.
It's really bad.
Enough to be able to use it to defend the fortress from the next several waves of parasites, which they did so pretty easily despite many flying forms arriving to join the parasites.
Yo, the sound. The sound is so cursed.
A small group of soldiers, part of Mountain Gang off in the mountains, had actually decided to make another portal and
Wait, hold on a
went
minute. Hold on a minute. Okay.
through the Nether to go see what they could see on the
Wait, they can
other
get in
side.
Nether?
They didn't find
Oh.
very much out of the ordinary though, just a few run-of-the-mill cyber demons, nothing very dangerous or exciting, and
Ooh.
they didn't take very long for them to return back to the overworld. In addition to journeying to the Nether, Mountain Gang also made history by being the first group of players in any of my Civilization events to establish an international airport. They created,
Hey,
with
what?
one damaged plane and a tiny runway, the first international airport known as Mountain Gang.
International airport
Their
with
layout had
one
become quite
plane.
advanced as well, with several new entrances and exits and some farms, and for some reason a bunch of excavator bucket wheel thingies all over the place.
Wait, that's so cool.
Oh, and of course we can't forget about Larry. Larry's most important. Or the collection
Larry?
of pilfered items that came from the fortress, namely
Who's
garden
Larry?
cloches and a partially completed reactor. The parasite hive mind seemingly had become aware of the actions of Mountain Gang and
Oh.
dropped a very targeted pod onto their bridge, blowing a giant hole in it.
Uh-oh. Run, run.
During the actual event
He
recording,
fell.
I spent so darn long watching this parasite dig
The
out
airport
of
looks
the
like a
ground
helipad, brother.
really
Bro, it's
slowly,
barely an airport, bro.
only to just emerge and immediately die.
You're
to
right,
auto
Shav.
and it was the most depressing thing I'd ever seen. Luckily, the coolest thing
It
I
looks-
think
still
I
looks
saw the
so
entire
shit.
event happened right after that depressing moment. This person had the best bomb drop I've ever seen a player have
Ooh.
in this game.
Wait, that's
and it
sick.
blew up
That's
a
so
ton
sick.
of parasites with just one bomb.
Bro, pro player. Pro gamer here. You know what? Guys. What are the odds that this guy who's flying the plane plays War Thunder? What are the odds? I'll say it's pretty high.
Of the soldiers awaited anxiously on the outer wall. They knew that the final waves of day 2 would be arriving soon, and they needed to be ready as they could be for hordes of parasites that would undoubtedly attempt to breach their walls.
Wait, there's another wave?
Which is exactly what happened a few minutes later when another massive wave spawned with many
Wait,
of
there's like
the
2 waves
strong
in one
parasite
day.
forms, all of which intent on breaching the walls. A group of the parasites wisened up and decided to go around the wall instead of trying to
Again.
break through the unbreakable blocks, and instead they just smashed through the side of the mountain.
Randomly Ruby, War Thunder is a wonderful game you guys have to check out. Here's my sponsor.
Too few players remained at the fortress anymore to successfully
Nah, I'm not sponsored by
defend
War
against
Thunder,
all the
no.
strong parasites,
I wish.
and some of them made it through the inner wall and were
I
barely
wish.
stopped before reaching the bunker itself. Speaking of bunkers, a few players had decided to make their own really tiny bunker underneath the actual fortress and were just hanging out down there, perfectly safe
Yo,
from
so
all
cool.
the parasites while their friends were getting massacred above them. The most recent engagement
Bro,
with
they're
the
just
parasites
pussies,
was
man.
enough to tip the morale over
Cowards.
to a
It's hiding their
hardcore
bunker.
being enabled for the first time in either of
Oh,
the
no.
event days, just in
Oh
time
no, hardcore.
for the final waves of parasites
Uh-oh.
of that day to spawn and go rampage toward the
Rip.
players.
No, it's so dumb because the thing is, I feel like if everyone helped, this wouldn't happen, right? Like it would take longer to reach 50 if everyone helped. But the fact that people just left, they're just hiding their bunker, not doing anything. They're not helping. Like everyone's gonna die because of that. Wait, how many mods are there? What the frick? Oh no. Oh no. Hardcore. Hardcore enabled. Oh shit. Shit's gonna get real, guys. Uh-oh. I'm in danger. So if they die now, they actually die. Hardcore. They actually die. Like it's real. Yeah, how many more minutes are there? Oh, we're like halfway through. Let's go. Yeah, guys, I don't think that they're gonna survive to day 4. I don't see a scenario where they win this. Really. They are just too disorganized. They are too unorganized. Because I feel like to win win in something like this, right? You need some leader to lead everyone. Because otherwise, if everyone just does their own thing, you are just dead. Everyone's gonna lose. There's no way they're gonna win. There's no way. Yeah, but that's the problem. When you get random people, they try to act like they're the MC, and everyone tries to get their own story and part in video. Main character syndrome is high and common in MC players. Exactly. I agree. Yeah. I agree. Oh my god, wait, they got in? Shit. They got into the base. Freak. They're so screwed. They're actually screwed. No, I think the fortress is, like, the people at the fortress, they're all dead. They're all doomed. Because like, no one is helping. There's only a few people helping. Doing shit. The rest are just like, just chilling in their bunker. Look at this. It's only day 2, bro. It's only day 2. You have like 2 more days to go. They're so fucked. They're actually fucked. Oh, this is gonna be bad. Yo, 13 people died. Holy shit. Wait, hold on. That means they have like 87 people left, right? Because 100 people join, minus 13, it's 87. There's only 87 people left. Oh, they're so screwed. And it's day 3.
Very few people remained at the fortress after the crushing final wave
Yeah.
of yesterday's recording
I don't blame
session.
them, right?
But the few who did remain were in for an even worse time with day 3 level raids, but at least they had the extraction to look forward to if they made it out alive.
Extraction. They actually make a smart decision later. We'll see, we'll see. We will see. Oh, like they're getting overwhelmed. They're actually getting overwhelmed. Oh, this guy gonna die. He's dead. Yeah, he died. Rip. GG.
By that evening, the fortress
He got
was all
cornered
but
there.
abandoned. Almost everyone had fled to other
Actual
parts
rip.
of the map after dying too many times there to too many parasites. Many of the defenses were also destroyed.
I mean, to be honest, at this point, right,
Front
just
autocannons
leave the
were
place,
taken
man.
out in the next wave that spawned.
There's no
And
point
there
to
was
stay
really
here.
no point in being there anymore, especially with
Yeah.
the extraction not far off.
Just run, just run. Ooh, wait, he flew off. Oh,
Unsurprisingly, almost
Just
everybody
ran.
was either already
just flew
at
away.
the extraction point or in the vicinity or on their way there, which was probably a smart decision.
Wait, he has one-
and it seemed great,
wait, he has
you know,
one-
it's a safe
wait,
spot,
hold on a
there's no
minute.
waves
Here
spawning
is one
there. Oh,
wing.
wait. Parasites
It's plain.
won overtime.
It's
Not gonna
broken.
let all the players just sit there for a solid 45 minutes without spawning some waves nearby. For a
Oh
time,
my god, that's
tensions were
evil.
rising between the survivors and soldiers, as the place
That's
where the
actually
survivors
evil.
had holed up in the mountain was under 100 blocks from all the soldiers at the extraction point. But the individual squabbles were soon forgotten about as more and more parasites began arriving on the scene.
Oh, they were fighting each other. Oh shit.
Later that night, the first true wave of parasites was detected at the extraction point. Luckily for the survivors, it consisted only of slow-flying bombers, which never got close enough to begin deploying their payloads. But it was still a
Wait.
sign of worse things to come.
I mean, I guess they got lucky there because it's very slow. But imagine it's all fast, like fast enemies.
Meanwhile, back at the fortress, the
They're gonna get
last
screwed.
remaining soldiers still holed up there in the shop were being forced
One
to
wing getting
retreat
dough.
back into the caves that had been opened up
I'm playing
into
with
the
one
shop
wing.
by a bunch of digging parasites earlier on. However, things weren't much better at the extraction point, as the newcomers arriving were faced immediately with a new wave of parasites, this time much more dangerous than the bombers. Not all of the soldiers were participating in the battle though, as some of them had done the much more honorable job of moving their Larry statue outside of the mountain and into an outdoor
Larry?
shrine. It also appeared to morph into a
Oh,
shrine for the
it's a
event
statue in the
mods
middle.
as
I
well.
see, I see.
If only their shrine to Larry had been
It's
able
their-
to
it's
save
their
them
mascot.
from the enabling of hardcore later on
The
that
Mountain
morning.
Gang's mascot. That's cool. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Almost as if the Parasite Hive Mind was aware
They are
that the
dead.
players
They're so
were
dead.
weaking, additional waves were
Yeah,
immediately
the moment they
sent
had
to
a
the
breather, they
extraction
fought with
point,
each
consisting
other.
of even more parasites,
Bro, that's
including
humanity,
more
man.
dangerous forms than seen previously.
That's literally Earth for us. That's humans. Okay, we got cult activity here as well. Wait, why is there like cults in every single civilization videos? Why? What the frick? Why are cults so popular? Why? Literally every single Civ video, you have cults.
Oh, okay.
That's the weather machine. That's the weather machine.
Insane.
Okay, inside, we're inside.
Oh wait, get inside.
Inside, we're going.
The battle between the soldiers and parasites
Oh
was
my god, the
briefly
flashbang.
interrupted when someone spawned a tornado using a weather machine underneath the hill, and it proceeded
Why?
to fling all of the parasites into the sky, which was kind of beneficial, but it also meant that all the players got flung as well. Luckily, not too many
Why
of
would
them
we do
died,
that?
for their sake. With the extraction
that's
arriving
like
in under 10 minutes, players
collateral
from all
damage.
corners of the map were converging on the extraction
Friendly
point at the
fire.
hilltop. Tons of people were arriving via the bridge from Mountain Gang, and the survivors were not far behind either, just approaching from a different direction, trying to keep out of the main battle as long as they could. But the battle was about to come to them, as a bunch of parasites were busily digging through the mountain to come out of the floor underneath them.
Ooh. Oh no. Oh, they're like coming from everywhere. There's no way to hide. There's nowhere. Like, where do you hide at this point, right? Where do you hide? They're everywhere.
At that point, the parasites were arriving in full force, in greater
they're
numbers than
overwhelming
even
them.
seen attacking
Because
the fortress.
the thing is, they lost their fortress. They lost their base, right?
that this was their last chance to kill as
It's
many
cha-
of
yeah,
the
it's
soldiers
chaos.
and survivors
It's
as
chaos.
possible before they fled the planet. Things were looking very bad for the players as ancient forms began spawning and joining the attack.
What's
They
that?
would only have to
Ancient
wait
forms?
a few more seconds.
Ooh, Gatling gun. That's cool. Hey, wait, hold on. That's the same GPU I'm using right now. 3060 Ti. Hey. Hey, my boy. Using the same GPU. Oh, he did. Oh, he did. To be honest, it's even hard to like separate Minecraft groups from cults. Everyone kind of thinks a group on one part or focus is better for them eventually. Kind of being seen as a cult. I don't know, confuses me a lot. Yeah, I guess you're kind of right. I guess it works because it gets everyone on the same page, right? It's easier to group people, to attract people under like a cult. It makes sense. Like under one religion. I mean that's why. I think that's why, like in the past, religion used to be so huge last time. In the medieval ages. Like 1,000 years ago. Like religion actually works. Because people needed like a reason to stick together, right? And that's what religion is for. That makes sense. Ooh, rip. There's so many of them. Like, how do you fight this? How do you fight this? Just run. There are like only a few left. Wait, what? The starship? Okay, that's cool. The starship stuff. No, okay, the issue here is that are they able to last long enough to get extracted? That's the thing. Are they able to survive long enough to get saved? Music slaps? Yeah, it's so cool. The music. Banger music. What a banger. Wait, what? It's getting bombarded. Run! Get out here, get out. Kill him. Oh no. Oh no. Bro, imagine all dying in the plane, in the helicopter. I'll be so mad, right? I will be so mad. Oh wait, they escaped. Yay! They escaped. Wait, what? Wait, hold on. Let's go back. Let's see this. Total casualties 140. Total final deaths 40. That means they have 60 minus 18 from last time. No, 13 from last time. That means they have like 40 plus people left. Something like that. With 33. Wait, that's lower than I
Despite
thought.
losing the majority of the battalion stationed on the planet,
Ooh.
several dozen survivors nevertheless were able to escape on transports. The rescue fleet's original orders when setting out were to land a massive ground force on the planet in order to retake it from the Parasites. However, due to the loss of one of the ships that was supposed to rendezvous with the fleet and the accelerated takeover by Parasites, the mission was switched to a rescue and scuttle operation. An officer aboard one of the ships performing the base Delta Zero was later heard commenting what a shame it was that such a nice scenic planet was wasted in such a manner.
You know what it reminds me of, guys? It reminds me of Warhammer. You know orcs? You know, like in Warhammer, right? When a planet gets infested with orcs, the only way to contain it is to destroy it. Yeah. Yeah, and they barely missed the PvP threshold. Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, they had 10 morale left. Yeah, you're right. Okay, what was I saying? Oh yes, the orc stuff. Yeah. It kind of reminds me of Warhammer. Not gonna lie.
He had, quote, been very much looking forward to a nice retirement home on said planet once he was out of the Navy. After several days of orbital bombardment, with the planet turned to slag and the mission complete, the fleet makes the jump to hyperspace en route to a naval station.
Orcs are fun,
in the
guys. Yeah, I know.
system to unload the survivors
They grew from
and
spores.
refuel. But that's all for this part of the story. I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you want to
I mean,
see
it's
what
a pretty
fate
good video,
befalls the
but I'll
survivors
say-
now that they've escaped, be
I'll
sure
say
to drop
that
a like on the video and subscribe.
The each video is way better. Right? Like you cannot tell that the level of quality is there. The difference of quality is there. Like each video is like the editing is insane. And I think his video is way better in terms of like storytelling, right? And he has more people as well. It's like 1,000 players. The point I would tell why each video is better is because of the more. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I agree. That's what I'm saying. The storytelling for each video is so much better compared to this one. Because I feel like this one is more of like a narrative, like overall view of the experiment. But for each, right, he goes into deep into like different stories, into like different POVs, and it kind of works because the people interact with each other, and it makes it like relatable to one another. It's all connected together. It's like it's different POVs connected together to make one big story. And it's very interesting the way he does it. Yeah. This one essentially has a decent story, but 2 points. One, the thing is really fast to keep up and be chaotic. Doesn't really work as a whole story, more of like as an random experiment. Yeah, I agree. Like I feel like this video is more focused on the experiment itself than the people, right? It focuses on the simulation part instead of the people part. But each video is different. It's like the opposite.